Hi everyone, this is going to be probably my longest YouTube video, so I'm basically going to be showing to you every book that I own. It's quite ambitious. I remember I filmed a bookshelf tour months back, but I felt like it was super short and it was just an overview, and today I really want to take you along with me slow and steady, and I'm just going to be talking about books. I'm not sure how long this is going to be, probably an hour, probably half an hour. All I know is that it's more than 10 minutes for sure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So this is my bookshelf. I got my shelf from IKEA. This is their Billy bookcase. This one is in oak. I didn't get the white bookshelf because I felt like this one would blend perfectly with my room. Everything that's in my room, every furniture is either in black or in wood. Ever since I was 16, I really wanted to have a home library, and seeing it come to life now felt surreal to me because back in the day, I owned this bookshelf. I'm just going to be inserting a photo here. So I started with this shelf to now looking like this. Yeah, I'm super thankful, super grateful, and let's do a little close up so you can see all the books in every cubby. So up here at the topmost part of the half bookcase, I basically store general fiction, memoirs, and poetry books. I also have some trinkets here. This one I got from my best friend's wedding. This one was from my ex-colleague when I was still working for Fully Book. She went on a Thailand trip and gave this elephant keychain to me. It was actually a keychain, but it broke, so I thought I'd just display it here. And a candle from a PR package that I got. So here I have 3 copies from Afro Apollo. He's actually my ex-colleague from my very first job, and he's also an author. So I have 3 of his novels here. We have Beyond the Broken Us, Morbid, and Skin and Bones. And this one is super special because he also wrote a message for me here and signed it. I'm really happy that he's able to publish all of his writings. It's so good. So do read it. Then we have The Whole World Over by Julia Glass, some Nicholas Sparks novels. Over here I have A Walk to Remember and The Choice. I have The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I tried to read this, but it felt so slow, so maybe I'll do a reread because a lot of people said that this one was actually good. Then we have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I remember I read this during quarantine. I loved it, and I feel like you should read it at some point in your life. We have The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin S. Sharma. We have The Vegetarian by Han Kang. My pretty copy of Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. It was so difficult looking for this cover, so I'm really happy that I finally have it here on my hands and on my shelf. And then we have another copy of Kitchen, which is actually a giveaway price. It's ongoing right now on my TikTok, so I hope you join it. Oops. Then I have 2 memoirs from like my 2 favorite people here on earth. I have I Told You This Already by Lauren Graham, which I have yet to read. And then I have Diana in Her Own Words by Andrew Morton. I was actually reading it around September, but I never got a chance to finish it, so maybe I will continue it. And then I have some poetry books here. I have I Love My Love by Raina Biddy, The Universal Plus by Langleaf, and then 2 Ruby Kaur poetry books. Her very first 2, we have Milk and Honey and The Sun and Her Flowers. Moving on to the second cubby, we have more self-help spiritual reads here and my classics. I'm trying to grow my classics, so let me know if there's anything that I should add on my shelf and read. But anyways, going back, we have The Path Made Clear by Oprah Winfrey. I got this from Big Bad Wolf during their media event, and it's filled with these beautiful pictures and like stories, and apparently Jacqueline from Big Bad Wolf enjoyed and recommended this, so I got it. We have The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which was one of the first books that Sean gifted me. We have Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. When Things Don't Go Your Way by Heyman Sunim, which is his 3rd novel, if I remember it correctly. And It's one of my recent reads as well. Heyman Sunham is one of my favorite authors of all time. We have Getting to Center by Marley Grace, Mindfulness by Oli Doyle. I have two books by Bianca Sparacino. This one was pretty viral, especially in the years prior. We have A Gentle Reminder and The Strength in Our Scars. Both great reads, by the way. The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I remember I got this during my last days in Fully Booked. And then I have a special copy of I Decided to Live as Me by Kim So Hyun. I really enjoyed this book and I treasure this because she actually signed it and she drew a picture of me. So yeah, I got this when I was still working for Fully Booked. Really, really love it. We have Managing Your Emotions by Joyce Meyer. If you know me, you know that I love The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I basically recommend this to everyone I know. I will never shut up about this book. And if you've been following me for quite some time now, you know how much I mentioned The Four Agreements. Then I have Burn After Writing by Sharon Jones. It's not really a book, it's something that you fill up. It has a lot of prompts, but I'm not yet finished with it. Why Men Love Bitches by Sherry Argov. And then I have Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. I got this because I really want to understand the differences of the opposite sex, especially when Sean and I are still starting. I really want to find our rhythm. Thought I'd get it from a book and learn a thing or two, so that's why I have it here. And the funny thing is, he got this for me. Then we have my classics. I have my Pell collection right here. I'm trying to grow it because I really love the Penguin English Library editions. The only thing that I don't like about them is that they're super fragile, so you really have to take care of them. Other than that, I really love it. So I have here Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, which also happens to be my favorite classic. Then we have two Jane Austen novels here. I have Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. I got Persuasion mainly because I enjoyed the adaptation, the one with Dakota Johnson on Netflix, and I thought, you know what, I should read the actual book and see for myself. So that's why it's there. We have The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, and of course, my favorite Shakespeare, probably the only Shakespeare I read. It is Romeo and Juliet. And of course, I annotated the shit out of this book. That's how much I love this. Then we make way on the third cubby from the half shelf. This is where I store my personal stuff. I have a photo of me and Sean. This is actually our very first photo during his graduation dinner. Thought I'd display it here. I also have a Polaroid of me from my first ever company event. I was such a baby at the time. And here I keep my planners, my journals, spare notebooks, my reading journal. I got that from Flying Tiger if you're interested. I have A Thousand Wishes by Bath and Body Works. I've been burning this candle since August probably. I still cannot empty it for the life of me. It smells so good. I hope you could smell it. Makes my room smell so cozy and warm. And then I also have this card that Sean gave me for my 25th birthday. So special to me because yeah, that's how special this one is. Sometimes I would just open it and remember how he actually gave it to me. So yeah, such a special shelf. And then we make way to one of my favorite shelves, or cubbies rather. This is my thriller section. So I'm really proud about, this whole thing because I finally expanded my collection. Right here we have two books by Oketsu, Strange Pictures and Strange Houses. I believe he's already coming out with his third book, or it already came out. I'm not really sure, but I think that's Strange Buildings. Looking forward to reading that. I have a copy here of The Silent Patient, which I've yet to read. I've been meaning to, but I don't know. I feel like it's still not the right time for me. I'm actually a firm believer that the right book will find you when it's time, and as of now, it's not the time for me. I have Verity by Colleen Hoover, The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. And then I have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I've heard that this one is really creepy and disturbing to some, so I have high expectations for this one. And then we have a stack of books here because they won't fit. I have Inferno by Dan Brown, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, Butter by Asako Yuzuki, which is actually based off a real story. And then I have two books by Nita Prose. This is from her The Maid series, quote unquote. We have The Maid, which I've read, and The Mystery Guest, which I've yet to read. They also have a Christmas edition of this one, I believe. So I'm kind of way behind. And then I have my Frida McFadden stack over here. As you can see, she's one of my favorite thriller author. We have The Housemaid, which I loved. The Teacher, which was picked by Sean, but I've yet to read. Never Lie, which I also enjoyed. And The Boyfriend, which I got because one of my favorite YouTubers, I think Carla Espinosa, she said that she read this, did enjoy it, so I got intrigued. Going down, this one houses my fantasy, sci-fi, and Greek mythology. I'm trying to grow this section because I really want to dive more into fantasy and sci-fi specifically for 2026. I feel like there are a lot of books that I am missing out on. So yeah, I have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber here. And then I have Powerless and Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I tried reading Reckless, but I feel like it's not for me compared to Powerless. I love Powerless, gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, super enjoyed it, but with Reckless, it was a pain to read. I couldn't get through the first 100 pages. I feel like I have to reread it because they already wrapped up the entire series. And then I have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, my only sci-fi right here, and Mythology by Edith Hamilton and then Rick Riordan books. I couldn't complete the original Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. There are 5 books here, but I only have 3. So if you know where else I could buy the other 2, that would be super because I really want to have them all on my shelf. They're so special to me because I've read them when I was still in 9th grade. So I was 15 at the time. It's been 10 years since I last read this book. So yeah, and then we make way to the bigger shelf. This is mainly composed of billionaire millionaire romances. We have Magnolia Parks right here. I'm kind of annoyed with my collection because I have the entire Magnolia Parks in their indie published editions. However, I couldn't find the Daisy Hates one. So if you know where I could get the Daisy Hates in their original indie published cover, that would be great. Because I got this one from Shopee and apparently it's not the same size. I feel like this one is a reprint, which is a bummer. So yeah, I'm kind of sad because I really want to collect them all in their original covers. I'm thinking of just giving this away or donating it because I already have the Daisy Hates The Great Undoing copy in this version. And I actually want to show to you the covers of the Magnolia Parks in their indie published version because they're so pretty. Like, look at that. Isn't that a piece of art? And I've also annotated this copy. As you can see, there are so many book tabs here. That's how much I devoured this, even though I hate it for the most part. Then we have The Long Way Home, which is the second book from Magnolia Parks, apart from Daisy Hates, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I also love this cover, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, which is also in this beautiful, stunning cover. It's just so massive. The size of this is very colossal. I'm having a hard time reading. Moving on, we have the Dreamland Billionaire Trilogy by Lauren Asher. We have the Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, and The Final Offer. Then we have the Twisted series by Anna Huang, which I also love. We have Twisted Love, Twisted Games, which is my favorite, probably my top one. And it came to a point where I considered naming my son Reese, if I do have, and I do get a son. It's a bodyguard romance, by the way. And then we have Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies. And then I have my Crazy Rich Asian books here by Kevin Kwan and the Addicted to You series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I've already read Addicted to You and Ricochet years ago, and I couldn't remember a single thing. That's why I'm thinking of restarting it and then getting the other books as I go along. So that's why I reserved the space here. And I just have this Dior paper bag that I decided to keep because Sean got me something from Dior on my 26th birthday. Thought it's special and I keep it here. Made sense since it's Dior, billionaire romance. You get the idea. And then we have my summer romance, the warm and fuzzy romances. I have here this letter A that I got when I was still in high school. I think I turned 17 at the time. It was a gift to me. I still keep it here on my shelf. So starting off, we have The Sweet Spot by Amy Popel. I hope I pronounced her name right. I decided to get this from Big Bad Wolf because I saw again Carla Espinosa. I love her to death. From one of her YouTube videos, she read this book and enjoyed it. And I got this at a cheaper cost, so it's such a steal. Then we have Emily Henry books here. Honestly, I don't know why I still keep on buying Emily Henry books because, truth be told, I haven't read a single thing from Emily Henry. I tried reading Beach Read, made it until page 50, but I feel like I was in the wrong place and in the wrong headspace when I read this because I just did enjoy it, and it affected the whole interest that I have towards Emily Henry. I decided to put off People We Meet, Book Lovers, and The Great Big Beautiful Life. I'm missing Book Lovers. No, I'm missing Happy Place and what's the other book? I couldn't remember, but yeah, let me know if I should continue reading Emily Henry because I am actually on the verge of just giving this away. And then we have Jenny Han books here. I have The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy and the first book from To All the Boys. And then we have some Abby Jimenez reads. Now, Just for the Summer was actually a 5-star for me last year. I enjoyed this. I remember loving it and giggling for the most part. And then we have Yours Truly, which I've yet to read, and Say You'll Remember Me. I actually DNF'd this book. I don't know why. I was enjoying it, actually. I feel like I just never got the time to, get back to it. I made it this far. So maybe I'll just read the last couple of chapters where I left off so I could refresh my brain and continue reading it because I feel like I'm missing out on this book. Then we have By a Thread by Lucy Score. Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman, which is one of the prettiest covers I've seen. First Time Caller by B.K. Borzin. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I never picked up any Ali Hazelwood books. This is the first book that I have from her. I've still yet to read it. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. And then I have Just the Two of Us by Joe Wild, which is a book that Sean picked up for me. I told him to get me a book that he feels like I'm going to enjoy, and this is the book that he landed with. So I'll definitely read this. Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welsh. The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. When in Rome by Sarah Adams, which is Gilmore Girl coded, according to the other booktubers and book talkers who have already read this. Business Not As Usual by Sharon C. Cooper. Thank You Next by Andy Christopher. Wait for It by Jen McKinley. Mom Jeans and Other Mistakes by Alexa Martin. The Wedding Ringer by Carrie Rea. And Delia Suit Up by Amanda Axel. Here on this next section, I have more of small town romance, fall, winter, or holiday books. And then I have this jar, which houses all of the trinkets that I own about me and Sean. We have photo booth photos here, plane tickets from our trip, a birthday card, this drawing of us, which is so cute, and this keychain that I got from our Hong Kong trip. I decided to put it here as well. We have here my cowboy romances, starting with the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I have 2 books so far. We have Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage, and these are also one of the prettiest covers that I have. They're comic coded, so look at that. Then we have books by Elsie Silver. We have the first two books from her Rose Hill series. We have Wild Love and Wild Eyes. I attempted reading Wild Love, but I never got the chance to finish it. The first part was a bit of a drag, unfortunately, so hopefully I could make it through, because these books are calling my name already. And then we have the Chestnut Spring series. I have two different editions. I have the UK, and I also have the original books. If you're going to ask me which of these are my favorites, it's definitely Heartless and Powerless. It's a tie between these two. Then we have Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hide from the Light, the first two books. I've yet to own the third book because I couldn't push through with the second book. Read the first book and I enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Although her books are super long, I find them super enjoyable, especially if the plot and the setting is good. And then we have these books by Lori Gilmore, which I've yet to read. I'm so glad that I own them already. They're also one of these pretty covers. Like, look how gorgeous. I feel like they're just short and easy to read, so I'm looking forward to them. Look at that cover, it's so pretty. A Thousand Boy Kisses, which I super love. I remember talking about this, especially around 2021 and 2022. It's one of those OG reads. Don't Be in Love by Liana Cincotti. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And then I have two Mia Sheridan books. I have Most of All You, which I've yet to read, and Archer's Voice, which I've read and bawled my eyes out. This one is slow burn. It's grumpy sunshine, bad girl, good boy trope, and it's not something that you'd usually find. I have One Day in December by Josie Silver, and then I have two Sally Rooney books. I have Normal People and Beautiful World, Where Are You? If He Had Been With Me, which I purchased because I remember I saw this from one of my favorite YouTubers as well, Sarah Carioli, and I was so convinced that I should read this. I'm actually on the floor once again. Anyways, we have here more series that I don't know where else to put. And then for the trinkets, I have here this clear container that houses my tabs and my washi tapes. You can check that out. Yeah. I mainly use these book tabs when I feel like I'm about to read a super great read. Sometimes you could just feel it from the vibe of the book. So I own a couple, but not that much. And then I have these washi tapes that I use for my Bible journaling. And then here I have this figurine of the Virgin Mary that my mom passed down to me. It actually lights up. It's supposed to be a lamp, but I don't have any spare bulb, let alone a socket nearby, so it's just here. I have the first two books by India Holton. This is the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels and the Secret Service of Tea and Treason. And then the OG of OGs, we have the Off Campus series by L. Kennedy. I raved about this, especially during 2022 and late 2021. I love it. I remember I filmed a reading vlog for the score. It's still up on my TikTok, so if you want, you could watch it rather. But yeah, if you're going to ask me, of course, my favorite is The Score, followed by The Mistake. A lot of people didn't enjoy The Mistake. I have no idea because I loved it with all of my being. I don't understand the hate. And then we have the spin-off, Briar You. We have The Risk and the Chase. I've still yet to read this. That's why I'm not getting the last two books. I plan on buying them once I made it through the chase. But until then, it's just that. So, yeah, sports romance right here. These are hockey players, and you get to see all of their love lives. They're like intertwined. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. And then we have From Lukov with Love. And then we have my TJR and Colleen Hoover section right here. I've already outgrown Colleen Hoover, but I still decided to keep her novels. I know she's like a hot topic, especially in the book community right now, but at some point, I enjoyed her books. I'm not gonna lie. And I decided to keep the ones that I knew I enjoyed, and basically some of her like OGs. And then for TJR, I decided to keep them as well because I had a fun time reading them. I have Malibu Rising, The Seven Husbands, I have One True Loves, which broke my heart. I have After I Do, and Daisy Jones and the Six, which I've also annotated when I was still reading it. And then I have All Your Perfects, which I also annotated. I was a big annotator back in the day, so yeah, I made a lot of effort for this. I have Reminders of Him, which is also a favorite Coho book of mine. Ugly Love, November 9, It Ends With Us, and Confess. I also made a reading vlog for this one, so if you want, it's on my TikTok. Now we move down to our second to the last section. We have here like OG series and YA books that I've read during high school. They hold sentimental value, that's why I decided not to give them away. Starting with the selection series by Kira Cass, I don't understand why this wasn't published as a movie, or produced as a movie rather, if that's the correct term. I remember seeing the script already. Kira Cass posted it on her Instagram years prior, and I'm still waiting up until this day. I would die if they release a film based off the selection series. The Jewel by Amy Ewing. It's a trilogy. I remember I read this, but I couldn't remember a single thing. All I know is that I read this when I was still in high school. It's kind of similar to The Selection. It's similar to The Selection in the sense that the main character here is also living in like a faction or a caste setting. Yeah, and they're like in the marriage market as well, if I remember it. We have Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake and the Divergent trilogy. Need I explain more? The Wrath and the Dawn, which is a retelling of the Arabian Nights, if I am not mistaken. We have The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski, which I had a difficulty searching for. I remember this is the first book that I got from Fully Booked. As you can see, the price tag still showcases the old logo. That's how OG this one is. I read it when I was still in high school again. I think I was in 12th grade, but I never got the chance to continue it. It's actually a series. Yeah, I couldn't remember a single thing anymore about this, but I still store it here on my shelf. Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the first book from her trilogy. This one is also like Twilight in a sense that it's werewolf love story. It's special because this is actually a birthday gift from my mom. She got this when I turned 12. We were eating at McDonald's. We were sitting on a high chair. After she got me my order, she handed me a paper bag that contains this book, and I was super happy that day. Kissed, White Hot Kiss, the two books from Victoria Aveyard, The Red Queen. I enjoyed Red Queen. I read this, but Glass Sword, not that much. And then we have another sci-fi that is YA, so that's why I didn't include it on my other copy with the Project Hail Mary. This one is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid, the first series that I ever owned. This is Ghost Girl by Tanya Hurley, a random YA romance here. The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, which I finished in one day. So I kept the book here. And then here at the very bottom, I just have my YA books organized in a rainbow manner. I have no idea if I'm still going to be keeping them or if I'm just going to donate them and make room for other books in the future. And then here I also have a box of like my hair curler because I have nowhere else to store it. My speaker, which I use when I'm cleaning my room and I want loud music playing as my background. And then I collect Smile magazine from, Seb. I want to keep track of, every single edition that they publish so that I could use it for future references or like future travels. So I have 3 editions with me so far. My god, that was a super long video. I'm out of breath. Anyways, that is my bookshelf tour for 2025. Before the year ends, I really want to tour you here. Inside my home library. Let me guys know what you think about my organization, if you have any suggestions or tips to, make my organization look more better. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for making it up until this point, And if you want to join the giveaway and win a copy of Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto, all of the instructions and mechanics are on my TikTok. So go ahead and follow me at angeenoelmbiz. I'll also leave the link in the description box. That way you don't have to search anymore. You just have to click and you'll be redirected. And yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in my very next YouTube video. Bye!